Hello. Today we're going to talk about genetics. And on your note sheet, you'll be filling in this in as you go along. What is genetics? Well, genetics is the study of heredity. Heredity is the passing of physical traits from parents to offspring. So it's what gives you the certain features that look like your mom or your dad or some of those characteristics. Traits are your physical characteristics. Traits result from genes that are passed down through generations. For example, the flower color in these pea plants that you see on the picture is genetics and it's modified. And we're going to see how those um, different colors are affected and what the chances are of us getting those and keeping those and moving on when we have two different types of parents. So as we continue to talk about genetics, we're going to look at genes. Genes are a section of DNA on a chromosome that codes for that trait. So we looked at our DNA already with our DNA models, and we saw how tightly compacted it is when it's twisted in that double helix. If we untwist that, it gets super, super long, and there's tons of information packed into those genetics and into that DNA and those chromosomes. And so an example is 1G on a pea plant codes for flower color. Only one chromosomes may have hundreds or thousands of genes. So it's going to code for lots and lots of different things in that chromosome. We have alleles, and alleles are the different forms of genes. Those are what causes a difference in the variations between us. For example, pea plants could have two alleles for purple flowers, two alleles for white flowers, or one allele for both. And that's how we figure out what we get from our parents based on those. So we see here hybrid cross, and get into that soon about what these are. So alleles are different, are represented by different letters. So we see that we have a capital B, which means that we have a purple flower. Or we have a lowercase b, which means we have a white flower. So the capital B means that it's dominant over the lowercase b, which is recessive. So if you get capital B, you're going to show that color over the other one. And we'll see how that works as we go along here in this genetics unit. So what is DNA? Well, we've done some stuff with that already. It's an organism's blueprint for what we're going to look like. It carries our genetic information, and it determines what we look like, how our physical traits affect the way we survive, our gender, our disorders and medical issues, our medical predispositions. All organisms have DNA. So what are cells and DNA and how do they react to one another? All organisms are made of one or more cells. And each of those cells are going to contain DNA, which is our genetic material, which makes us up, tells us what we do. Single DNA strand holds information to build 100,000 different kinds of proteins that make you. Our skin cells, all these different types of cells have DNA in it, and those strands hold the information to make those proteins to make us look the way we do. So we have two types of cells. We have prokaryotic or we have eukaryotic. And what does that mean? Well, a prokaryotic cells have DNA loose in the cytoplasm. Okay, as you can see over here on this picture, right here, we see the loose DNA in the cytoplasm. Okay, but when we look at a eukaryotic cell, they're bound in the nucleus. So we have to see it in here, the nucleus, okay? And we can see that through our chromosomes. So here's a larger cell of the eukaryotic cell, which has the nucleus right here, okay? And inside that nucleus, we have those different little chromosomes, okay? And those chromosomes all have this DNA in it, and there's lots of different material in there, okay? So we will continue to learn how DNA works and builds our bodies and everything. Have a great day. Bye.